once again, we have found ourselves on the precipice of glory. Another day. Another Halo Infinite stream. Let's see how it goes. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Audio's good. Sweet. All good. Am I hyped for Halo Infinite custom lobbies? Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be really interesting to see if all the toys are in there. Okay, so the volume should be turned way down now. Alright, let me just hop into a match and warm up real quick. Oh, I should probably press the play button here. Sniper has bloom. It doesn't actually have bloom. So let me just show you guys something real quick before I join a game. There is no bloom in the sniper. It's just a really, really weird effect that they've done. Let me check this. You get comfortable here. Ready? Watch this. Look at that. So see how the reticle explodes up like that? It doesn't matter. It's still only that very center piece of the reticle. So obviously I should hit this, right? Right, I should hit that. Okay, that's probably like the very edge of what I can do. So now I'm in the range. That doesn't hit, even though I'm well within the reticle range. And that still misses. So, sniper, it's just like a weird optical effect that they have. Maybe it helps you aim, but it does not actually have bloom. If that makes sense. It has hipfire bloom. Unscoped sniper has bloom. Okay, let me try that. I actually have not tried that. Let me give that a shot.
S7 sniper acquired.
Oh. Oh no, I hate that. Oh, you're right. It does have bloom. I feel like it's really, really easy to aim with the larger reticle. I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about the hip flyer. I can backpack reload the sniper. I don't know if I can YY because I don't have a secondary in drills. Yeah, I don't like the sniper having any bloom. I hope they fix that because the sniper feels good otherwise. You know what I mean? Sniper's pretty good otherwise, but having bloom on it, that's a mistake. Really, bloom has a much larger presence in this game than I was anticipating. Definitely the most since Reach, obviously. Not as much as Reach, but the most since Reach, and I do not like it. Could they have added that to balance M and K? I don't really think you should balance M and K. M and K is just going to be what it is. Again, the best way to balance everything is projectile weapons. Projectile weapons will literally just solve all of those problems.
Slayer.
Right, here we go. Do I think they should have removed dashes and hover mechanics? Yeah, I think the only problem is they didn't remove everything else yet. So maybe one more Halo game and we'll be there.
Outkill your opponents and claim victory.
But yeah, no, I don't think this game needs that. Look at that. They're all right here. So like right there through the Ravager fire, which has like a red outline, it was pretty hard to see what I was shooting at there. What's up, Ultramans? YYing is not as crisp. I don't know what my teammate was doing.
Taking damage.
Really like the Ravager. That's a fun gun. I am feeling a little more comfortable. I wish the reticle was lower. That would really do a lot. It's not like a deal breaker or anything. So as you can see, this gun is an absolute monster. The battle rifle in this game is just an absolute laser beam gun.
We've lost a teammate.
That's a 4-shot.
Perfect.
There's a decent amount of screen shake, like when you throw grenades. Not sure how I feel about that. I just feel like you should keep it as clean as possible.
You're quite lethal with that.
I feel like that should have been a perfect, but alright.
You're quite lethal with that.
We've lost a teammate.
Halfway to victory. Killing frenzy. Closing in.
Look at this gun. It just as a murder machine, dude. Damn it. Take this. Take a look at this one. 2-shot beatdown? Yeah, I'm not sure. Will I let my child play Halo 5? Well, someday a little boy's got to grow into a man and make his own decisions. Probably not something I'll introduce him to, though.
So many dead enemies.
What? You guys saw that, right? You guys saw that, right?
Power items inbound.
Can I turn off screen shake? I hope so. Let me see. Screen shake.
Power items.
Let me turn that to 0. Let me turn this pretty far down too. Sure.
Nearing
Cool. No screen shake. Yeah, I just disabled the screen shake. Definitely prefer it. Really don't even know why anyone would keep it on. It just feels a lot better without it.
Hail Mary. Double kill.
Feels a lot better without it.
Over there. Hostiles in sight.
Spectacular.
What worries me the most about this Halo, given what I've seen so far? I'm still worried that the core gameplay is a little bit on the standard, kind of safe, maybe even generic side of things. So I still believe that the strength of this game is going to have to be in kind of like its options, its custom games and stuff like that, because I don't think that like the moment-to-moment gameplay is super addicting or anything. I would classify it as kind of inoffensive. Like, it's not like, oh my god, this is the worst thing I've ever played, but it's also not like, oh my, this is really changing the game either. You know what I mean? And so I think the strengths are going to need to rely a little bit in just the sheer options that the game allows you. It's not red versus blue, it's just all the bots are kind of defaulted to one color. How do I feel about Bloom kicking in if it isn't a perfect kill? I just dislike Bloom as a concept in general. I realize other games have had it, other Halos have had it, and you know, sometimes it doesn't just completely destroy you. But yeah, I would prefer other balancing methods compared to Bloom. Super Fluffy Toaster, thanks for the love, dude. Looks like Destiny 4. What was Destiny 3? I'm curious.
Slayer.
I believe later this week we will get to play against people, and we're definitely going to find out more about this game when we do that. Because we're going to kind of see the true behaviors come through. Because it's one thing to abuse bots and kind of see how bots behave, but it's completely different to actually play against, you know, real people. I don't know how I missed that. I don't... This gun, it hurts me. Why not change enemies to blue? Well, it's just that they're... It's redundant. It would only apply to this bot mode, right?
Enemies hurt.
So if one of those bots picked up that skewer, I'm toast. I don't know how he missed that.
Gained the lead. Take cover, Spartan.
It sounds a little glitched. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Look at that gun, dude. Look at this gun, dude. It is It is a shredding machine. Look at this gun! Oh my god, dude. This gun just absolutely fucks people. This gun is one of those guns that when I saw it, I thought, that looks like a really boring gun. But when I use it, and I kind of understand its niche a little bit better, I'm like, you know what? This ain't that bad. This gun's kind of sick. I like that it's like this precision automatic. And you can definitely dodge it. Like, that bot actually did a little bit of a better time dodging it. I don't know how I got blinded right there. I don't know what happened. What do I think of the bots so far? Well, here's the thing. Like, the Marine bots, I never got to play against them, but they look super easy. This is like level 3 of 4 on the bots. In the first game, I thought, oh, wow, they're actually pretty tough. But towards the end of last night, I was getting spectaculars on them pretty consistently and reliably. They definitely like to throw grenades at their feet.
Very surgical.
I'm gonna change my field of view here pretty soon. I haven't even done that yet. I really dislike how good this gun is. See, look how inconsistent this gun is. Sometimes it just melts people in 2 seconds, and sometimes it's like, how are you not dead? And I think it's the rando headshot multipliers that I occasionally get. Yeah, I thought that was a teammate for a sec. I would say that the threat detection is like 99% good, but there are definitely occasional times where it hasn't gotten me killed yet, but I'm just like, I'll accidentally shoot a teammate one shot. But nothing that's like sustained, like I still have no idea what the fuck's going on, like I was kind of worried about. So it's not a ginormous deal yet. I also think the bots are making people feel like they're better at this game than they actually are. And I'm very highly suspicious that when we play against real people, you're going to have people getting wrecked that were like shredding during the beta. And it's not going to go as well. But maybe that's a good thing that you have a mode that lets people feel good.
Active camo obtained.
Cover me.
Damn it.
Another one down.
Keep your head down.
Interesting. Here, let me pull those.
Grapple deployed.
Okay, bot was pretty smart. Can I shoot through 2?
Nearing victory.
I think people are gonna start doing like double drop all text. I haven't died yet, so I haven't been able to, or I haven't died in a while, so I haven't been able to read a comment. There is very minor weapon swap delay out of sprint. For the pistol is instantaneous, like you can literally just shoot whenever you want.
You're quite lethal with that. Killing frenzy.
That gun is just good, and I don't know how it works yet. I don't think we've heard anything about Elise. Goonhouse says, does the aim sense feel off to you? I know they lowered assist and magnetism, but something else feels off with it to me, like input delay or something. Well, I turned down my, it feels okay. I wouldn't say it's like ultra crisp. But I got it feeling decently comfortable. So I would say both magnetism and aim assist is really low in this game. Yeah, see, just weird. Magnetism I know for sure is low. Aim assist is also really low. The Falco official says drop ball feels slow. What do you think? So I think the drop ball is going to be used to set up holds. It is not going to be like retroactive in a fight. Like I don't think you're going to be able to just use it in the middle of a gunfight unless you find a really good situation for it, because it has a very long activation time. So like using it to like set up or maybe like block a hallway that you're about to try and go through and peek, yeah, I could see it being useful there. But definitely not going to be able to just drop that in the middle of a gunfight and wreck people. Does it feel like Halo 5? I would say not at all like Halo 5. I would say this feels... Let me think. I think if it feels probably closest... If I'm comparing it to another Halo game, it feels a little bit like its own thing. I mean, mechanically probably closest to 4, but it also has clamber and slide, which 4 didn't. So I would say this is better than 4. It has more going for it, I think. It definitely feels like a middle ground, which I don't know how that's going to work out like long term. I don't know if it's a better version of Reach, but it's certainly got some Reach characteristics. Like, for instance, the use of Bloom, for sure, is the most noticeable since Reach. Like, it's having the biggest impact in my, like, moment-to-moment engagements. And I haven't really felt that way since, you know, Halo Reach. Okay, I like this gun. I want to keep trying this gun. That's a double. How? Sometimes I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong there.
Enemies on me.
This game needs a bit more aim assist on controller. It depends on the gun. So most of the weapons feel like he literally just drained. That was an assault rifle he was using, by the way. When he drained me, when he was standing over there and he was shooting me with an assault rifle. The gun that this guy has is my least favorite gun in the game. It is without a doubt just like the least fun gun to shoot and be shot by. It's literally a homing thing, and if you get hit with all 4 of those, I'm pretty sure it just drains your shields. Look at that. That's one burst of that gun. That is just not a fun gun to be on either side of.
Lost the lead.
Enemies hurt.
Let me see.
Keep your head down.
It's my favorite map so far of the 2 I've played. I don't know.
Overshield inbound. Aim true, Spark. You're
Oh, well.
quite lethal with that. Overshield available. Gain the lead.
Can I nade that to me?
Take it down.
Okay. So not like just like huge clamber range there. So not like a lot of clamber assist, which I guess is a good thing. I like that gun too. Ravager's a cool gun.
Way to victory.
See, this gun's pretty sick. This gun feels good.
Enemies on me.
Killing spree. Double kill. Power items incoming. Power items now available. You're quite lethal with that. Gravity hammer is ours.
Got a few of them with that shot.
Oh, okay. Just disintegrated in front of me.
Perfect. Spike obtained. Nearing victory.
So what do you guys think of the game? Let me know what you guys think. I'm kind of curious. Now that we've had like a couple days and like that initial like hype of, oh my god, new game. Now that that's kind of subsided a little bit, like, are you guys still feeling just as excited, less excited, more excited? Has it grown on you? I'm kind of curious.
Drop wall obtained.
Look at this gun is just like a laser beam, dude. Okay, so I accidentally shot my teammate there. Could not tell.
Reloading.
Again, like minor things, just like, and I don't think friendly fire's on, so it's not gonna bite me in the ass too much. I think one thing I'm not noticing the lack of aim assist quite as much. Like, not that it doesn't affect me, but because I play a lot of Siege, which has no aim assist at all on console, and that might have something to do with my kind of just ability to put up with it, because I'm definitely used to that.
Overshield available.
Did some damage.
See, I probably shouldn't have got the kill right there. That was kind of a wild shot. That. So I don't know. I don't quite know. I haven't figured out like all of the aim assist quirks yet.
Spectacular.
Comments. Sabriel Vincini, thanks for the $10. If the devs had the balls to remove sprint, slide, and clamber, I'd buy every battle pass and pre-order the game. They won't, so I don't have to worry. Gunplay is decent, though its performance sucks. Yeah, performance, obviously, they're ironing that out. Yeah, obviously I want sprint, slide, and clamber gone too, and it feels like they've really, really tried to nerf sprint into the ground. And it's just, I just think it's funny that sprint was always like, oh, it's this tactical trade-off. You have to put your gun down, you know, your situational readiness suffers so that you can go faster. It's this trade-off and it's this balance. And now that that's not really the case, because you can basically fire almost instantaneously out of sprint, and with some guns like the pistol, you literally can just fire instantaneously out of sprint. Now they've kind of like moved the goalpost, and now it's like, oh, well, sprint's useful because it activates slide. Like, okay. So I'm starting to feel like people don't actually care about sprint. They don't actually care at all. I think they're just defending whatever the game is. Like, they'll just justify whatever the game is, and they'll base their logic and their principles around the game. Instead of just like, oh, we should get rid of it. It's like, no, I'm okay with whatever, and I'll just defend whatever it is. Before, it was like, oh, tactical readiness, you know, tactical availability of your weapons. It's a trade-off when you sprint. It's risk versus reward. And now it isn't really, and so now it's like, oh, it activates slide. You know. Now it's like, no, sprint needs to stay because it activates slide. It's like, okay, well, fuck slide then. You know, get rid of that. Does that make sense? Yeah, and clamber, obviously, don't want that either. The worst gun, I really dislike, like, the pulse carbine thing. That gun's just not fun to use or be used against.
Slayer.
Do I think the skill ceiling for sniping is higher, the same, or lower on MK versus controller? Well, MK is always going to give you better, you know, control over your shot. So I think it's just a different skill. Because here's the thing, if everybody has more precise controls, that means you have to be more precise. There's more pressure on you. So even if it's easier to aim, it's easier to get shot. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a huge deal. Okay.
The lead.
Yeah, there are downsides to sprint, but they've like artificially created those downsides, right? It's like, oh, you can be seen on the radar now. It's like, okay. So before you could just be seen on the radar at all times, and now you can't unless you sprint. So it's like they changed something to balance sprint. This gun just shreds. If you feather this gun and if you can hit somebody just right, like if you can get somebody that's just like not moving very good, that gun will absolutely just dominate them.
Taking damage.
I would just say like the pulse carbine is not fun to use at all. So the TTK probably isn't that much different. This is basically Social Slayer, and I would say it's got a pretty high TTK for Social Slayer.
Another one down.
There we go.
Hail Mary.
But I think the battle rifle in this game
Another trophy
is
for
an
the party.
absolute monster.
Strike obtained.
So I think when that gun is the starting weapon, the TTK is going to feel pretty freaking lethal. Probably close to Halo 2.
Inbound.
Next time I die, I'm going to alter my
Overshield available.
my settings. So there's a bot that used OS on me, and thankfully I had a needler, which is like anti-OS. That's some weird tracking. You guys notice that? Like they were all homing, and then they just decided to stop homing like almost halfway to the target. Kind of trippy.
Lost a teammate.
Targets are over there.
Let me get up here.
Spartan down.
Stick? Oh man. Like this, watch this gun. If I cannot choke here. Look how fast the battle rifle kills.
spree.
It's just a laser.
Over yonder.
Power items incoming.
Watch my back.
Like, look, I don't even have to zoom in.
Power items.
I feel like I just kind of got a point in the general vicinity over there,
nearing victory.
and I'll get the kill.
Stay mobile.
I feel like bots could just sense me here. Like this isn't actually a viable spot to get the drop.
Tango's closing in. We've lost a teammate.
Like, look at this gun, dude. It's a monster. Okay, I just didn't see it. Make the BR have less aim assist? So you think some guns need it and some guns need less of it. Okay. Let's read some comments. It feels like the time to kill is faster than the Halo 3 battle rifle. It's definitely easier to use, or rather more consistent than the Halo 3 battle rifle. And it's going to be one of those things where it's fun to shoot bots, but it's going to be fun when other players are shooting you with it. You know what I mean? That's going to be the test thing. Doggo says, do you think a classic playlist in Infinite will be more viable than it was in 5 because the abilities have been nerfed and there's almost no point to enhance mobility right now? I do think that you might have a better chance with a classic playlist. Like already in this build, I put sprint on the X button, which is kind of a tertiary button. It's not like a primary function. Like most of the games I play that have sprint, I keep it on the stick because I use it all the time. And I consider it so like inessential in this particular game that I'll actually throw it on X. Because I just don't feel like it's super necessary. Do I like the grapple shot? Surprisingly not very present in this build. I have used it a couple times and it was okay, but I haven't been able to do anything crazy with it. The Reach battle rifle did not exist. There was no battle rifle in Reach. Oh, looks like I joined a game in progress. Okay, so I got a sound glitch. Cool.
Spartan down.
I have heard about this glitch. Yeah, and that sprint shouldn't be there to only affect slide. That's such a a cop-out position to have. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, it activates slide, it's useful. Like, no. You shouldn't have a button that exists just to like change another button.
Halfway to victory. Overshield inbound. Overshield available.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I know the sound's bugged. I'm hoping it'll fix itself. Okay, I just died. No, I think the sprint discussions surrounding this game are going to be super, super annoying. Because it's still going to be controversial, and I think both sides have very, very shitty arguments now. Like, definitely the anti-sprint crowd, there's less wrong with it now for like most of the old arguments to not be super applicable. And so kind of for us, it's basically just like, well, it's so useless at this point, you might as well just get rid of it. Like, it's really not super great design to have an ability in the game literally there to be almost intentionally useless. Like, instead of it, if you were starting from 0, you wouldn't even have this in the game. It's almost like sprint was there by default, and they've worked effortlessly to try and make it not impact the game. And I just think that's dumb. It's like, okay, well, if your the whole goal is to make a mechanic and diminish it to the point where it has no impact, then it's like you have to think, like, is the right thing to have this mechanic? That's kind of the question. So that's kind of my perspective at this point. It's like, okay, we've basically gotten it to the point where we've diminished its effect to where it's like less than a 10% speed boost, right? See, like right there, that's gross. But we've literally gotten to the point where we've diminished the mechanic so much so that the defense of this mechanic now is that it activates another mechanic. Like literally just like, oh, sprint needs to stay in the game so that slide can exist. If you're like, isn't that crazy? And that's a really weak argument too. And so basically it's such an insignificant feature that when you argue about it, the against is that it's useless, let's just cut it out, get rid of it, and move on. And then for the people who want it to stay in the game, and really I don't even think it's that they want it to stay in the game, I think it's just that they're okay with whatever and they'll defend whatever it is. And for them it's like, well, it activates slide, and that's their argument. Would you guys agree with that? So Bhagat Singh says he thinks it's interesting that a sprint button changes other buttons into something else. But if one button is designed to change other buttons, but it only changes one other button, then no, that's not interesting. Because if it only changes one thing, then you might as well just turn the button that changes the button into something, the function that you're ultimately trying to achieve, if that makes sense. And look, you can find like little niche things. Like, I know I've seen people who are like, oh man, like if you jump on an incline and slide, you can get a speed boost. And it's like, okay. But for those little niche applications, are we really going to have two mechanics? Like literally two mechanics in the game. Sprint, which is already so worthless that the best defense for it is that it activates slide. And then slide itself, like, for 99% of the player base is just kind of this ability, like take it or leave it. Like I realize like a lot of the high-end like movement-centric people in the community like slide because it's like this linking ability and it builds momentum. But other than that, it's really not like a super useful tool. And we have literally two mechanics devoted to just like that niche application. Two mechanics that if we could remove them, we're basically a clamber away from classic Halo. And so yeah, I want it all gone. And we're really close to being it all gone. To where slide, which isn't like an insane ability, is considered the primary reason to have sprint now, because that's how nerfed sprint is. The slide is insane, but it's very, very situational. Mango Slice, there's a lot of jumps you won't be able to do without sprint, but it's honestly in this weird spot. I find myself not even using slide or sprint half the time.
Slayer.
Patrick Anderson, the sprint slide feature creates a skill gap, which is what Halo needs. You can get skill gaps other ways. Like, you could make the guns hard to shoot, and they're not super hard to shoot, other than the fact that they have aim assist. Like, I think projectile weapons, there's your skill gap. You know what I mean?
More kills than your
And I wouldn't say, like, the slide thing, like, it's not that hard to do, right? But here's what I want to get across, right? People are like, I'm seeing already people in the chat. Oh, Halo fans need to move on. They're such boomers. Blah blah blah. Sliding is so good. Sliding's this great. It's like, well, when sprint was super powerful, everybody was talking about how great it is. And now that it's nerfed to the point where it basically only allows, you know, slide to exist. Like basically that's its primary function now is the slide. Like, what happened? Like clearly you didn't care when sprint was taken out. Because sprint is so neutered in what it used to do that it's like, okay, so what are you actually arguing for? You know what I mean? Okay. Right, because it's like everybody defended sprint vehemently. Just like, oh yeah, sprint, like, oh, it's so good, it does this, it does that. And now that it does nothing, people don't care, and now they're just defending what it currently does. So it's like, okay, so you don't actually stand on anything. And if they removed slide in the next game, you'd probably just defend whatever that game was. Like, no one would care. The same people who are defending slide right now, if slide was gone, they don't care. You know why? Because they defended sprint before, and now that sprint's nerfed into oblivion, they're just saying, oh, well, it activates slide. So there is no foundation. There is no true argument. It's just you're basing your principles on the game rather than, like, what you actually truly believe. Because you don't care. It's not a big deal. And that's fine. But then don't get in the way of the people where it is actually, like, this issue for them.
Overshield inbound.
Grabbed overshield.
Overshield available.
I don't.
Hostiles in sight.
Halfway to victory. Inbound. Perfect. Killing spree. S7 sniper available.
I think this is projectile based. I might have to start leading this.
Taking fire.
Take cover.
Like that right there. Like that's when you're gonna see sprint and slide like be useful. It's just how I was able to kind of launch myself.
Overshield available. Nearing victory. Killing frenzy. Double kill.
You can build a little bit of momentum with it. But I don't think if you want momentum mechanics, like slide is the only way to achieve that.
Keep your head down.
You know what I mean?
Taking fire.
Alright, let me go read some of those comments because I know I dropped some bombshells there. Gearmaster, thanks for the $2, dude. Just remove sprint and put speed boost pickup back in. Sure, I guess. Cade Roma says that seems really simple-minded. I mean, what's more simple-minded? Like, hey, this isn't really doing anything, and we've clearly been struggling with this mechanic for 10 years. Let's just cut it out and start fresh. Or, hey, let's keep this in the game when it does 9% of what it's supposed to do. And basically, its primary defense now is that it just happens to activate something else. Another mechanic, by the way, that I would probably just do without. Like, if you wanted to build momentum, like if you wanted to jump on the incline like I did a little bit ago, and crouch and have that build momentum so that you could get like a little bit of a spring jump, like a horizontal spring jump, like you could do that. You could program the game to do that without slide. You know what I mean? If you really wanted stuff like that in the game. Legendary Man says, the real question, does sprint or slide or whatever change how fun the game is? If the answer is no, then who cares? Well, I guess that would depend on if the answer is no to you. Let me keep reading some of these. Let's see. I'm still reading here. Projectile weapons always suck in Halo. I just maybe think they haven't been executed properly. What Sprint fans want is a way to move faster than the base movement speed. Slide accomplishes that, even if Sprint is nerfed. That was Charks who said that. So Charks, quick question. Legitimately, if you could do the same thing with just a crouching, like just, if you could hit an incline with momentum and crouch, and it skips you, which you wouldn't necessarily need slide or sprint to activate, but you could get a movement boost off of that, would you be okay with that? Just curious. Ultramans, thanks for the $10. I think the reason Sprint still exists is for legacy and custom games, as well as being better for the campaign. Then again, there are vehicles. There are always options of, you know, getting out of that. If it's so useless, why are we still complaining? Josh A asks. I don't think we're complaining. I think it's just kind of like, hey, next time around, let's just shut the book on it, because clearly it's still divisive, and clearly we're still complaining about it. And I do think this whole situation proves, because all of like the trade-offs and the defenses and the arguments for Sprint don't really apply much anymore. Like, oh, it's situational. Oh, you have to. It's a risk versus reward. You have to trade combat readiness for speed, and oh man, it adds more decision making. It's like, well, you can fire straight out of it, and it barely makes you faster. And it's like, okay, well, none of that matters anymore, except for to like a few select people. Now, all those people have just shifted their argument to, hey, it activates slide. And I think that's my point. My point is that I don't think they actually care about the mechanic. I just think they like whatever Halo's going to be, and they're always going to like whatever Halo's going to be. And if Halo got rid of it entirely, they'd probably still like it. Does that make sense? Right? So it's like, hey, you could just get rid of it. People like me would shut up, and then we could just play together. And you'd probably just defend it, right? Just be like, oh yeah, no, this is great. Like, it still feels super good. The movement feels good. Don't even need those things. Because half of what Halo 5 had is gone, and nobody's complaining about it. Everyone's still just defending whatever this game is. And there's always going to be people like that, and they'll do the same thing if they're just gone. Let's play another one. Cade Roman says, I feel like you are the only person. Everyone seems like this middle ground. Well, we like it now when we played, 2 matches. The thing is this isn't a middle ground. This is just like... It's not a middle ground, really. It's just kind of revealed that the people who defended these mechanics never truly cared. Like, they never cared. It was never about sprint. It was just defending the game. Whatever the game was. Whatever the game was, that was their position. Whatever the game's going to be, that'll be their position. So yeah, that group's always going to be happy. No matter what.
Slayer.
All I'm saying is that when the next Halo game comes out, and that might be 10 years from now, judging by how they talk about this game, let's just get rid of it. If this game, it's useless, the next time it can just not be used at all. It can just be gone. And I think you guys will probably be okay with that, if I don't miss my guess. Like think of it this way. If you're sitting there and you're like, oh, it's not useful, be happy. Are you going to be mad next time around if it's gone? It's like, man, I wish the useless sprint was here. No, you're not going to think that. You're not going to care again.
Earn more kills than your opponents to win. No scope. Off the rack.
Well, shit.
Gain the lead.
I'm not straw manning them. I'm following their own
That
logic.
shot.
Oh, whoops. Like, I'm not straw manning everyone who defended sprint. I'm just saying that the reason they defended sprint was less to do with them liking the mechanic, but more so that they didn't ever truly care. Like, it wasn't an important thing for them. Like, they would have probably been happy if it wasn't there. If sprint was never in the game, they'd have probably still played it. Probably. Now, that's not going to be true for everybody. Like, there's some people who are going to like, no, I need sprint. But a lot of people, because look how everybody's just like, you should be happy, it's useless now. It's like, okay, why aren't you happy, person who said it needed to be in the game? You know what I mean? It's more so I'm just kind of pointing that out. Like, why aren't you unhappy that they removed something that you've been defending for so long? And now we just have like this kind of phony animation that gives me like, I think it's a 9% increase. You know what I mean? Like, why are you okay with this?
Spartan down.
And just say like, oh, it wasn't ever a big deal for me. I just kind of wanted everybody to like the game. I just kind of wanted to defend a game. And that's fine. But that's also kind of my point.
Perforated. Potion available.
Taking damage.
Some damage.
If it is useless, why are you still using it in the game? I'm using it because there's no reason not to. Like, look how fast I can shoot out of this. Look at this. I'm shooting. So basically, here's the thing, right? We've gotten the sprint argument through years and years of battling and discussing and arguing. We've basically gotten sprint down to 9%. We are 9% away from just being all the way there.
Better luck next time.
And the problem is like the reason I suggest not keeping it is because as a mechanic, if you really want to talk about design, this is poorly implemented. Like, it is not elegant or good design to have a mechanic in your game that is designed to not be useful. Do you, like, I don't even know how to explain that. It's just like, a mechanic is literally in this game, and it is designed to not be useful. Is that not just, like, incredible that that's where we're at for this game? And it's because instead of just like, oh, is this good for the game? It was determined, oh, it's bad for the game, but for some reason, it was also determined that it had to be there. Like, it's like, yeah, no, it being there is default. How do we make its impact negligible? How do we keep it from hurting the game? And the solution was to basically make it only do, like, 9%.
Another one down.
So please let me know, like, you know. And it is what it is. I'm not saying, hey, get rid of it in Infinite. It's too late for that. It is what it is. But what I am saying is that it probably doesn't need to be in the next one. If that makes sense.
Can't touch this.
Let's see. Tomfoolery, thanks for the $5. Probably the most important point you've made all stream, to be honest. Thank you, dude. Frost says, I mean, sprint was never a make or break deal for me in Halo, so I'm fine with this. Yeah, sure. Why wouldn't you be fine with something? But it's not good design. Like, you might, like, praise it, and Halo fans are going to be weird, and they'll praise it, and I think, like, regular game players will look at that and be like, what the hell? Like, you're happy that it's useless? Like, I don't get it.
Time for some close quarters power.
Enemy Spartan.
Kill. Killing spree. Power items en route. Power items
Cool.
arrived. Steak-tacular.
Awbird4566 says, do you think they should increase the speed of sprint then to like 15%? Also, technically, there is a reason not to stay off the radar. Yeah, but in order to make that a reason to not sprint, you had to remove the fact that you could previously see people on radar walking. It's like, oh, this was a thing that you used to be able to do, and so they got rid of that in order to add a new nerf to sprint. Like, oh, we have to figure out a reason to not do this thing because we've made it so negligible. Oh, I get it. Let's do it with the radar, which isn't even going to impact competitive play because competitive play has radar turned off. Just speed up base movement speed by 9% and remove sprint. I mean, yeah, so literally they did that before, right? If it's really only like a 10% difference, in Halo 3 MLG, there was a 10% speed boost. It's like an identical difference here. And it played fine. It was negligible, again. Like, you barely noticed, it just kind of helped out a little bit. It was negligible. All the same maps were used, all the same gameplay was used.
Slayer.
Jesus Rodriguez says, Jesus, you don't see the competitive aspect of it. It being 3% or 10% or 100% is meaningless. It's still a movement advantage while you're still while you're using it, it'll make you 9% faster. And in comp scene, 9% can save you. That's basically just again, it's one of those, well, this is what it does argument, and this is what it does can sometimes matter, so it's worth having. No, that doesn't mean it's a well-designed mechanic. Like, I could say, hey, the assault rifle has a 9% chance to get a random 10% damage boost that can sometimes impact the game. It's like, well, that would be a negative impact anyway. So, but just because it does do something sometimes doesn't mean, like, it's good for the game. And that wasn't even, like, a great example, but it's basically just, like, it's not worth that much drama, that much controversy, that much time. It's not even worth the animations in order to make it, but the animations were probably already done. But it's just not worth it. It's like next time, Halo Infinite 2 or whatever the next game will be called, just like, we're already 9% of the way from just it being gone. So let's just do it.
What a reliable weapon.
Taking damage.
It will be interesting, especially if a lot of the popular custom games and stuff do decide to kind of just get rid of it entirely.
Off the rack. Double kill.
But this is supposed to be a 10-year game, so we'll see.
Over there, hostiles in sight. Taking damage. Enemy Spartans are closing in.
Overshield inbound. Killing spree.
Disco Prince 906, thanks for the $5, dude. Sprint just exists for habit and slide. Aside from that, how does the spike grenade differ from Halo 3? Spike grenade feels like it has a little bit longer, like, charge time. Oh, I just stuck that. Let's see. It feels similar. Yeah.
Halfway to victory.
I do like all of the pro sprint people in the chat, though. It's a good sign that I don't just have, like, this hive mind here.
Plasma pistol obtained.
Did some damage.
So that guy, I actually didn't know if he was a bad guy. Mr. O, like, if you take away sprint, then what? Nothing instead? Yes, exactly, thank you. Just like, oh, if you take away thrust as a base mechanic, nothing instead? Yeah. If you take away hover, nothing instead? Yeah.
Power items have arrived.
Weird.
Did some damage.
Nearing victory.
Reloading.
Like, for instance, if you wanted to make it to where I could jump on this incline and get a little slide going, and then, like, get a speed boost off, like, I could see a realm where that exists in a classic Halo game. Or you're still, you know, utilizing the environment to do something, which is cool. And there already were some of those kind of momentum glitches. Not necessarily a glitch, but, like, moments where you could use the momentum to your advantage like that in past Halo games. Ratboy, if sprint isn't affecting anything, then I no longer care whether it is or isn't in the game. Okay, so we're on the same page, right? But it's just, you realize that's kind of funny, right? Like, even the people who like sprint historically are like, yeah, it's not very useful. Why are you complaining? It's like, I'm not complaining. Why don't you just agree with me that it can disappear? Like if you're just basically like, yeah, it doesn't do anything, then why don't we all just go, okay, let's get rid of it then? Like, why? You realize how inelegant and poor design that is, right? Where it's just like, yeah, we have a mechanic and we've designed it to be useless. And I realize, like, oh, it activates slide. That's what everybody's saying now. I get it. But we're like 10% away from, I believe, just eliminating the argument forever. We're like 9% of a speed boost away from just being back and innovating in another direction. Because everybody likes what they're doing with the weapons. Everybody likes what they're doing with the equipment. Everybody likes all the sandbox stuff. And we're basically, like, literally praising a mechanic for being useless. That's where we're at in this community. Do you understand that? Ultraman, thanks for the $5. Heck, even in Halo 5, if you put an accelerator item along a wall, they put in a wall running animation. Yeah, but that's okay if it's map based. Can you knock grenade jump? I haven't tested that. Let me try that. Something to test. The sprint button could have just been a slide button that requires like a few seconds of momentum, or maybe you have to hold it down or something, I don't know. Or we could just not have slide either. And if you want like momentum based gameplay and a little bit additional skill gap, find an alternative. Like literally just jumping onto an incline and crouching and then jumping again to get a vertical or rather a horizontal leap. Like you could do that without slide or sprint. I see your point, Favyn from this is Hollow, by the way, but I personally think that if sprint isn't hurting people who don't like sprint, then why don't we get rid of it? Is the same as why don't we keep it? Well, because again, it's like, why keep something that's useless? You know, I think just design-wise, you want to trim the fat wherever possible. Right? You want to minimize and keep something as elegant and pure as you possibly can. And if you had like 2 buttons on the controller, and all they did was just kind of like make your arms move around, or do like 2% this or 2% that, you're basically just like taking up 2 buttons in order to have a very negligible effect on the game. And also, you know, we're all Halo fans. We all play this game. We've all been around this discussion. A new player coming in for the first time, like, do you really think a new player that's expecting sprint is going to press this button and then have somebody walk up to them, not sprinting, and kill them? Like, do you think that's going to feel good for the player? Like, the players who truly want sprint, and the reason they want sprint, this doesn't actually give them that. This doesn't achieve that. A bunch of stars in a row. Thanks for the $5. Having classic playlists will fragment the Halo community even further. Infinite would be better if it was trying to be 1 game instead of 2. That's true enough. But I'm also curious that, you know, if this is a 10-year game and then most of the player base is just like, hey, let's get rid of this. Most of like the competitive settings just get rid of it. Like, the difference between sprint and no sprint is so small that I could theoretically see them just, you know, look at that, just deked him. Absolute deke.
Overshield inbound.
And again, I'm not saying, hey, cut sprint in this game. I'm just saying, next time around, instead of going through this song and dance where like, what does it do? How useful is it? Oh, it's not useful at all. There's literally a button in the game that just, it's like a 9% increase. You can almost just walk behind somebody doing it and get there just as fast. Then instead of doing that, like, utilize that design time, utilize that space, utilize all that effort into, you know, just not having it, and just accept that it's not great for the game. Because clearly, the reason it's nerfed into oblivion is because it was determined that, yeah, you know what, it is ultimately detrimental to Halo if designed traditionally. Like a traditional sprint. And I will admit, like, I don't find it offensive, and I've kind of jokingly said in the past, or I'm like, in order for sprint to work in Halo, you would have to make it so useless to the point where it barely does anything. And I would say that like facetiously, because obviously you wouldn't add something that does nothing. And then they kind of did. And I don't know if it was always like that, but it feels like that. Again, I realize it activates slide.
Killing spree.
Let me read this comment. I don't care if I die. Onyx the Wolf says, with such a tiny influence, is there any jumps that only sprint can achieve? And that's going to be interesting to test. And I'm not going to really make a sprint video until the game is finally out and I can truly know all that it does. Because maybe there's stuff we don't know about yet. There's always that possibility, right? The game's brand new. We played it for like 2 days. But it will be interesting to find out, like, oh, in this situation, yeah, the sprint allows you to do this. In this situation, the sprint allows you to do that. And there's going to be stuff like that. There's going to be jumps where, like, if you sprint and then you slide and then you do your little slide hop, you can get, like, to this place that you otherwise couldn't. You know, like, it's going to be possible. It's 100%. There's going to be stuff like that. But we're not going to know until we have, like, the full breadth of content available for us. Majora, thanks for the $2. If removal isn't doable, buff sprint or leave as is. What? What? Yo, that bot, they must only respond to, like, movement tracking or something. You must be, like, invisible if you don't move. Like Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nearing victory.
And no, I'm not going to make a sprint video right now when I don't know its full impact on the game. Right now, it just doesn't feel very useful. And who knows, maybe in the final game, it will be.
Watch my back.
Taking fire!
Spartan down.
Spectacular.
Dad, $5. Have you checked out Splitgate? It's a Halo-inspired shooter, although it has sprint, despite literally letting the player make portals on maps. I have tried it, yes. Patrick Anderson says, I'm done listening. Okay. Again, like, what are you upset about? Like, for the people who are disagreeing with me now, or just, like, really shitting on me, if we're both in agreement, like, if your argument is that it doesn't do anything, stop complaining. First of all, I'm not complaining. But it's like, if it doesn't do anything and I say remove it, stop arguing. Like, what are you defending? That's my point. You're just defending. Period. That's all you're doing. It's there right now. You're acknowledging that it's useless, and you're defending it. If it's useless and I say remove it, why argue? Why not just be like, oh yeah, they could do that, no problem. I'm not even saying do it in infinite. I'm just saying, hey, in the next one, if this is where we're at, just don't have it. Gitspank says, what are my thoughts on the Bloom? Is it anything as bad as Reach? I hope not. It's not as bad as Reach, but it does have a larger influence than I was expecting. I've been talking about it for 50 minutes. Well, you're still here and been listening for 50 minutes. Let's see. Noah says, what he's talking about? He's talking about Splitgate. I'll try and move on from the sprint argument. I don't even know how that got brought up. Well, here's the truth of it, right? If it is fine the way it is now, and it is truly not detrimental, then I guess I'd be happy with it, right? Would I think it would be more elegant, more clean, more, sensible in regards to the design to not have a useless mechanic in the next Halo game? Sure. But if in this one it doesn't do anything and it doesn't damage the game, then great. Obviously, I'm going to be happy with that. But if it does change the game and it's figured that out, then okay. Well, then even this nerfed incarnation would be considered too detrimental. You know what I mean? I like how they just instant nade this side of the map because they know that all the bots go to that side like every single game. Right now, the assault rifle's too powerful. Bloom is a little too prevalent. Not as bad as Reach, but very prevalent still. A couple little UI elements that I'm not a huge fan of. For instance, the shield pop looks a lot like the you just got a kill pop. And that's gotten me to kind of pull my reticle off multiple times, where I think I got a kill, but it's really just the shields popping.
Taking damage.
Oh, that was nice.
Watch my back.
I like a lot of the guns.
Another one down.
I like a lot of the direction of the sandbox.
Too many of us.
There's a lot I like about this game. But I do think it has some inelegancies, if that's a word. So can I get here? Okay, so that one can get a little momentum. I do like that in order to do like the little slide hop, you need to use the map geometry to generate some momentum for you. Do I think the sidekick and the commando need extra aim assist? If you did a very small amount, maybe less bloom on both of those.
Camo inbound.
Do sprint slide jumps only. What's up,
In
Foxy?
my sights.
Active camo available.
Yeah, the AR is super powerful. My favorite Halo armor, Rogue helmet. I'm making new words. Hell yeah, dude. Disco Prince, thanks for the $5. I'm just sad the original Covenant Carbine is not in this game at this point anyway. Yeah, who knows? Gitsbank says, sorry to ask another question. Obviously, there are always cons, but what are the things you are most excited about for Infinite? Whether it's stuff in Forge, campaign, multiplayer, etc. I'm excited about the custom games because I think this game has some pretty decent weapons, which is a huge turnaround from the showcase last year where I thought all the weapons looked super lame. Now I actually would say I'm a fan of quite a few of the guns. And I think that the sandbox, not only with the grapple hook and stuff like that, which is rather underrepresented in this gameplay, but I think all of the sandbox tools are going to make a lot of really good custom games if they can deliver on the custom game options. Oh yeah, I forgot about the marking system. I've barely seen any people use it. Yeah, see? Like that? I thought that was the kill right there. Because it gave a very similar pop.
In my sights.
Like this right here. Look at that. But see, stuff like that I'm cool with. Like if I jump down that, say I wasn't even sprinting, say I wasn't even sliding. Say I just landed on that incline from that elevation and I went into a crouch and it gave me some momentum where I could jump vertically. I wouldn't be opposed to stuff like that. I like games that utilize physics. I usually consider those positives. This gun can absolutely shred. Like, look at that, dude. Look at that gun.
A red letter day indeed.
Yeah, they have really good guns.
Enemies over there. Taking fire.
What do I think of the weapons artistically? Probably not as thrilled about them as I am with their functionality. Do I like the Commando? I will admit that I have started to like the Commando more, the more that I have used it. And here's the thing, like, it has, like, that melting potential, but against a moving target, it is really hard to actually pull that off. Like, it is really hard. Like, there's times if you just line somebody up and you aim at their chest and let the recoil take you up into their head, it is ridiculously has ridiculously fast kill potential. And I would say overall the automatics are slightly overtuned. I would actually wish it had just a slight damage reduction, but also an accuracy increase. And it would probably be even more fun to use. Because if it was more accurate, it would probably kill a bit too fast. But its inaccuracies, like that right there, like, look at that shit. Does it feel like Halo? Feels the most like Halo out of the 343 games. People are saying Bazaar is in the flight. I haven't seen it yet. The two maps we have seen are Forge made. Do they need to improve Forge any further? You think these are Forge maps? I would be absolutely shocked if this was a Forge map. If this is a Forge map, then that's really impressive. But I'm pretty sure they're dev maps. Bridge Howard says, is it an absolute necessity to completely redo how shield charging, popping, etc. look in this game? All I know is that there used to be one system in order to figure out who your opponent was. right? Like, well, maybe 2, right? It's like, okay, well, there's maybe like a red name over somebody's head when you're looking at them, and then there's the color of their armor. In this game, there are like 12 systems working together so that you can figure out who to shoot. Holy shit. So TV, $50 or something. 50 something. You mentioned you've tried Splitgate. What are your first impressions so far? And is it possible that we'll get content on it in the future? So I tried it like a year ago. Do I need to reset my build? I might have to reset my build. Let me try it. Just so he can throw Bazaar in there. I might talk about it. It does seem to have picked up traction. Super Fluffy Toaster, how about the Heatwave? Also, do you expect more Forerunner weapons? I like the Heatwave a lot, and I kind of hope it's an exception for Forerunner weapons. Kind of like the Sentinel Beam was one of the few Forerunner weapons before. I can change the shield pop color. Yeah, sure I can, but again, that's just like another thing that they've added. It's like they've had to add like 12 systems and 15 toggles in order to figure out who you're shooting, in order for everything else not to contradict that. Again, it's like, have I had trouble figuring out who to shoot? No. But if we're analyzing it, is it like elegantly implemented? No. It's not. There's been a lot of work put in order to make this very simple function not disastrous. And it's not disastrous. I want to express that. Like, I've, for the most part, been very easy to figure out who to shoot. Who the hell's Roadman? Yeah, I don't know who Roadman is. Let me just point out, and I'm not going to answer this question, but you can see all of the questions about Sprint in the comments, right? Like, you see all of that, like, every little bit they're asking me about it. So it's not my fault if the discussion kind of gets fixated on that for a while, because clearly people want my opinion on it. But I've already given it, so. Yeah, the bots aren't using any shaders, which probably makes it easier to see, because all the bots kind of look the same. Alex Murphy asked me if the general control settings are clunky or unrefined. I wouldn't say they're, like, perfect, but I wouldn't say they're bad either.
Slayer.
Holy shit, no, Bazaar's literally out. I'm on it right now. Look at that shit. Alright, well, we got a new map to explore, fellas and ladies. Disco Prince, thanks for the $5. This friend or foe system isn't bad. I would just prefer team colors. Sure.
Earn more kills than your opponents to win.
All right, well, let's take a look. See what we got. Wait, what? Oh, okay. So there's a new ability that highlights threats. So like I have wall hacks now. That's fantastic. I have wall hacks.
Lost the lead.
that's another one of those things, and I've already shit on this before, so it's not like just like, oh, new thing, time to shit on it. But wall hacks and like their history, I don't know if they've ever been fun.
Gain the lead. Swift and silent.
Did that not hit? Okay, so I can't make that. Alright. Cool, so heat waves here. Holy shit. So I don't know if I just hit that perfect or if he was already weak a little bit. Oh shit, well, now I'm pinged.
Taking fire.
Power items inbound.
We've lost a teammate.
Power items have arrived.
Over there.
One shot, so many dead enemies.
Okay, hard to use at range. Not a bad thing. No, my aim!
Killing spree.
Can I destroy the threat detector? I will try that. This definitely has got some new Mombasa vibes.
That shot got way too many of us.
Halfway to victory.
Spark down.
Power items en route.
So I feel like that should have killed, but I guess not.
Power items have arrived.
See, I don't know. Like the vertical line shot feels really jank. It feels like it just passed right through him. Uh-oh. Yep. Oops.
Machine gun suit you, Spartan. Double kill. Triple kill. Killing spree. You're a
Sure am.
machine.
That literally just sounds like Lord Shaxx.
Machine that produces
It feels like I'm playing Destiny with that particular announcer. Just like, look at this movement. Please don't let that. Does the heat wave rebound hurt me? Yes, it does.
Nearing victory.
The horizontal spread should be reduced slightly. Well, let's try this piece of shit.
Pulse carbine obtained.
Time for wall hacks.
Items incoming. Power items have arrived.
Field goal with that shot.
What's this? Okay, cool. I like that. Generates a lot of momentum. Can I go over this? Yep.
Spot down. A conqueror's weapon. In your hands.
Well, shit. I'm dead. Maybe not.
How tragic for them.
Thanks, Lord Shax. I had no... Was that another person? Okay. Cool.
Remaining.
So yeah, the bloom, that's where the bloom sucks.
Spectacular.
Yeah, someone told me that the map was live, and so I reset my build, and I got it on my first try. I'll make an impressions video. I'm still going to keep playing it this weekend, and I'm pretty sure we'll get to play against people tomorrow, so I definitely want to try that. At least that's what I've heard. I shot at an ally? No, I didn't. What do I think about Spartan Shatter? Well, I think it's dumb. I haven't turned it off yet because I haven't been paying too much attention, but I'll probably turn it off in the full game. It's not a bad thing. It's one of those things where we can turn it off, but there is a surprising amount of effort that goes behind the scenes on that. I did not know that the threat detector affects both sides. That's interesting. It's just like kind of like a radar bubble. Well, if that's the case, I don't know if I like it, but I like it better just conceptually. So you can't just like fire it anywhere. Like your team can be punished if you use it poorly. Hey, thanks Hollow. Thanks for sticking around.
Slayer. Rack up the most kills to achieve victory.
Yeah, see, that was my teammate's grenade. Nothing happened.
Skewer obtained.
Let me just try and get a skewer kill here. This thing is hard to use, people. Yeah, see, so I just got de-scoped and it royally screwed me, which is good. Got nervous there.
Grab and drop.
I'm gonna do it.
No scope.
Another one down.
Look at that, bro. There is just zero room for error. I'm spooked. I'm spooked.
Spartan down!
Over yonder.
Enemies on active camo inbound.
Taking damage.
Active camo available.
Come on. Okay, so that right there, I had no clue.
Another one down!
So that right there, that looked like my teammate. So that was the first time in my 2 days of playing where I died because I had absolutely no idea whether a teammate or somebody else was shooting me.
Skewer inbound.
No, there's no friendly fire.
Halfway to victory.
Lost a teammate!
I don't... This gun is so stupid. Here. It literally, it's drain shields in one shot and then it like does nothing. This is just this is the worst gun so far.
Active camo inbound.
Enemies on me.
Flow of combat feels fine. Oh, okay. Oh, hello. Oh man, it's the expensive one.
Nearing victory. You're quite lethal with that.
I lost a teammate! Oh god! Can I get my battle rifle back? No, I guess not.
Target's over there. Watch my back.
Easy money.
Steak-tacular.
Bot difficulty is 3, I believe. Can I turn off Spartan chat or I'll try and do it now? Off. I don't know if I can turn my AI off though, because I'm pretty sure that's... I can disable speed lines. Man. I can disable speed lines. That's funny. Can I disable the sprint animation? Because if I could disable the speed lines and the animation, then it's like... then it's like it's not even in the game. Steaktacular means you win by 20. I can turn it off in customization settings. Okay, let's try that. No, I can't. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't know if I can. Let's just use this one. And up the field of view line thickness. No, it wouldn't let me untick it. What does Michelin Man... Wait, you still have motion blur on but complain about sprint? Holy shit. Like, what the... what the fuck does that have anything to do with anything? No, I don't really like motion blur. I'm just not really testing that right now. What's my favorite fast food place? I'm trying not to eat fast food. Probably, shit. Probably just Taco Bell. No, there's no auto sprint. Not that I can tell. I actually did look for that. Might have missed it, but I don't believe there is. I eat bacon and still complain about sprint. You got me. You got me. Flavorful asks how I like it. Right now I'm at a neutral dial for it.
Slayer.
Gravity hammer thoughts. I don't like how it works. Doesn't feel impactful. Like it's like all of the impact is in the animation, but not in the effect.
Kill like there's no tomorrow.
Okay, cool. I'll take the battle rifle. Appreciate it.
Spartan down!
A fine
A
shot.
fine shot.
The lead.
Yeah, I want a mute AI. It can just give me sign language.
Another one down!
I hope, I mean, the AI, if I can turn it off, no problem. But and then if they allow that, then you can get creative with it. Like, it'd be cool to have like a superintendent AI that doesn't talk, but like does pop up like as a little icon on your screen that like reacts with little different faces or something to your like medals and shit.
Lost the lead. Gained the lead.
Let's see. The only voice I need is Jeff. Yeah, Bazaar just came out.
Power items have spawned.
Is Spartan Chatter still talking? Yeah, I noticed that. I do hear them, even though I for sure turned that off just now. Oh my god, dude.
That shot.
Bro, how are you even old enough to be in the Marine Corps? Let alone the Spartan program.
Threat sensor obtained. Threat sensor deployed.
Got a few of them, huh? It's like freaking Sonic the Hedgehog is in the Spartan program.
Spartans are closing in. Taking fire.
Come on, guys, we gotta step it up.
Lost the teammate. Fire.
Oh, that's death.
Spartan down.
A satisfactory slaying.
Oh, okay. So grenades just follow me around corners. Got some pretty good compliments on my
Power
Sonic
items
impression there.
incoming.
Thank you. Dr.
Power
Robotnik
items
AI.
available.
Another one down.
My aim is getting worse. What was I complaining about? Somebody said such a petty thing to complain about. See, that's the thing, like... Every time, it's just like, oh, I don't like the Spartan voices. And it's not just like... It's literally just like, we're not saying get rid of them, just like, yeah, if we could have a toggle to turn those off, that'd be cool. I really like that constantly in my ear. And still somebody's got to go like, that's fucking stupid to complain about. It's so insignificant, dude. Dude, why are you even fucking complaining about that? Like, you cause more of a disruption and more of an argument by you saying it's stupid to argue about than if you had just said, yeah, that'd be cool to have a toggle. I just don't get the mindset. Just like, that's so fucking stupid to complain about. It's just like, people are so, like, horrified by the idea of criticism that they will literally create a more toxic environment in order to combat it. It's insane to me. It's like, bro, it's okay. There's a lot of people that think the high-pitched Spartans are stupid. It's okay to think that's stupid. It's okay to want to toggle for that. There literally is a toggle, I just don't think it's working. So literally should give feedback on that.
Perfect. Clearing victory.
Yeah, the battle rifle absolutely fucking slaps in this game. Sometimes I get a perfect kill, and it doesn't give me a perfect kill. I want that medal every time, please. Oh, there, I shot a teammate.
Power items have spawned.
Yeah, that's cool that you like Spartan Chatter. Leave it on. There's literally a toggle to remove it. All I'm saying is that it didn't work. Unless I accidentally flipped it back on again, which would have been an accident. Well, I'm out. And that gun hurts.
Immobile.
Come on, Tails!
Spectacular.
Ah, yeah! This is happening! Ragman, thanks for the $5 and the emoji. Yeah, I'm gonna play a couple more and then I'm gonna head out, hang out with the wife. Favyn, if 343 asked you to voice an AI based on you, would you do it? Absolutely. And I would charge a fuck ton of money for it. And I would request that they charge a fuck ton of money for it. It would be a very exclusive AI, very hard to get. Oh, that was weird.
In the lead.
Hammer time. Alright, here we go. Like, I honestly kept pressing X because I wasn't 100% sure I was sprinting right there. Oh my god, what the fuck? Dude, I just launched that man to the moon. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. I'm gonna do some gnarly shit right here. Now that I'm hyping it up, probably gonna die instantly. Look at that! Wham! So I want to test to see... Can I slide out of a grapple, or can it... Just because the grapple provides momentum. Can I slide out of it? I cannot. So that literally is only tied to sprint. I feel like it should be tied to momentum, not just sprint, personally. I have big plans for my next move.
Inbound.
I have big plans for this next maneuver here.
Overshield available.
Alright, not as cool as I could have made it, but not a complete embarrassment either.
Killing spree.
Garbage gun. Probably a really bad combo right here. Grapple hook again. Please explain what just happened. Joseph F, thanks for the $5. Thanks for the content over the years. Yeah, no problem. I should audition for the next Sonic game. Alright.
way to victory.
Got a few
Any
of them
streams
that
with
shot.
LNG planned? We've talked a little bit about playing. I don't know if I'll stream, but definitely plan on playing.
Enemy surge.
I'm gonna slide and stick somebody in the face for my next trick. Here we go. I missed. That's okay. Assault rifle. Death.
Kill.
Power item inbound.
Can I hammer jump? I doubt it because
Power items have spawned.
Majora, thanks for the $5. There are too many jumps that require clamber. I don't even think it was an issue in 5, but it's obvious here. Is the clamber animation slower? It feels... I don't know if it's slower per se, but it feels like there's a frame drop when I do it. Like everything, like there's a noticeable frame drop when I just happen to do it. So I feel like it's a little bugged right now.
Nearing victory.
Let me grab this.
Aerial velocity at maximum.
Double kill.
Ah, damn it.
Enemy's off.
Yeah, I don't think I can hammer jump. Is the hammer up? I can pick it up if it's here. It's not going to be up for a little bit. That's one thing about making a game like this safe, is that I feel like everything's kind of a nitpick. Like it just kind of boils down to, yeah, okay.
We've lost
And
a
anything you like try and nitpick, they're just like, that's not a big deal. It's gonna be tough to break through the defense force of this game for sure.
Steak-tacular.
Yeah, I know the Steak-tacular happens almost every game. I'm gonna play one more. What's up, Flavorful? All the AI are blue right now, yeah. Noclipso says, sorry, but your gameplay is really dog water and you complain too much instead of actually playing the game. You must be new to the streams. I'm definitely more focused on the people in chat than I am on the gameplay, bro. So if you're looking for people who are like super good at the game, who are gonna just focus on that, you're definitely in the wrong place. There's probably like 1,200 people streaming this game right now that you should go watch. No offense, like if you want to join the discussion, welcome. But if you're here for like god tier gameplay, you're never gonna find that here. This is a discussion channel for sure.
Slayer.
All right, last king.
Kill everything that moves. If it continues to move, kill it harder.
I'm not a terrorist. Here we go.
Gained the lead.
The problem with this gun, I think, is I can do the same thing twice. And then sometimes it will work and I'll just decimate somebody, and then other times it'll like, oh, why did nothing happen that time? Why did it not work? Yeah, like, if you feather this gun, Jesus. Like, look at that. If I feathered the trigger that time, and it just destroyed.
Reloading.
Overshield. Inbound. Low.
Oh, it didn't kill. Okay.
Overshield. Available.
Killing spree.
Commando rifle.
Look at that. Look at that,
Off
bro.
the rack.
Tango's closing in. Targets are over there. Enemies there.
Another one down.
This gun's gonna be really sick in infection. I can already tell.
Over there. Opposite side.
S7 sniper. Inbound.
But look at the bot strafing in front of the cover that he placed. I'm on Series X. I don't notice any fall damage.
We've lost a teammate.
All right.
Reloading. Taking damage.
Overshield. Inbound.
Enemies on me.
Overshield. Available.
Got a few of them with that shot.
Nearing victory. Double kill.
Spartan down.
feel like if you jump in the air against this gun, you've made a horrible mistake.
Killing spree. Double kill.
We've lost a teammate!
Ammo
Ah,
reserves
shit.
depleted.
Steak-tacular.
Okay. Alright.
We lost a teammate.
Okay. Well, I am going to hang out with the wife now. Thank you all for tuning in. Holy shit. Maddie Action, thanks for the $10. I don't mind Infinite being free to play and the gameplay changes that highlight that. If other people spending money means the game gets quality support and new content updates for years to come, that's great in my opinion. Sure, that's the dream. You just hope that the free to play doesn't mean that content's missing, right? Like, you just hope they don't use the fact that it's free as an excuse to not deliver a full suite of gameplay. Yeah, I always have fun. Mainly, I have fun talking to all you guys. It's always a good time. Even when things get heated and people disagree with me. That's still cool. I will, if I stream, I might stream one more time this weekend for the actual PvP gameplay. But if not, I will really make sure that I make a video kind of talking about everything, just giving my actual fully realized non-off-the-cuff impressions. I always feel like you can really hammer home points when you actually sit there and think about the perfect words to describe it. So that's what I keep on, what I'm keen on doing. Keep the video up on your YouTube channel. I'm at work. I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, thanks guys. You know, kept over 400 most of the afternoon. And I know it's a Saturday. Most people have the day off. You could have spent it doing anything. But I appreciate those who decided to spend it with me, and I hope you enjoyed the discussion. Definitely talking with all of you while I'm playing definitely helps. For sure. I will probably... I haven't actually spent any time just by myself. It's always been with the chat and stuff. So it will be interesting if I'm kind of by myself, how I feel. Alright, thanks everybody. I'll see you next time.